Hello again, everyone. It's Jason Demro, and you're still doing ENMU IS 301. We're to knowledge management and specialized information systems sharing wisdom. Well, we hope. We hope it's wisdom. Let's talk about sharing. This is an interesting concept. In a business environment, you can gain a ton by freeing pent-up information. By nature, it's funny, it's just human nature, I think. People develop little silos around themselves. I think it's a sense of either fear or needing to appear important. If you need to go to somebody and access them to get information, there's a certain power in that. And sometimes it's difficult for people to decide to do that. So that's why it's called, there's silos, things that you feel like you control and you don't want other people invading on them. And there's certain information sets that are contained in that silo. And sometimes people are not very willing to let them go. But let me tell you, the power to be harnessed by doing this is just phenomenal. So you really want to try and do that as much as you can. That's why we're talking about this wonderful chapter on knowledge, knowledge management. Ooh, I couldn't think up the word right now. The knowledge came, the management to come later. Management. Blech. This is honestly, most companies, this is something, again, another thing that big companies can do that little companies don't even really think about. Is when you get down to a small company, you often don't have silos or as much of one, or they're contained around one person. And if you don't like them, you just beat the information out of them. Good stick, boom, boom, boom. Tell me what I want to know. This gives you a technological way of being able to do that. So anyway, some of the best technology is used is to render this hidden information you normally can't get to, make it available to everybody. I remember working at the Dell Technical Support Call Center in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Woohoo! And that was the first time I really worked cheek by jowl with a enterprise class knowledge management system. And it was poor at best, but you could search on it. It did a bad job. Let me tell you, somebody needed to really do some work on that sucker. But you would ask it a question, and it would give you back a lot of results. And from those results, you would ascertain the answer that you would give to a customer if they had a problem with their hard drive not working. And your job was to make sure that they either got a replacement hard drive or you help them to fix their problem, one or the other. And you'd use this knowledge database pulled from engineers' brains, pulled from just experience of working with people, and it was all collected in this thing. It's certainly not a precise thing at all. It's certainly something that any one of you could take and say, I'm going to make a better mousetrap for this, and you would dominate the market immediately because most of the tools are really, really, really poor. And I don't know if we've really figured out a good algorithm for these things or anything like that. Just amazing. So you would use this database to try and help people solve their problems. And right now, I use one right now. Banner Illusion has a knowledge database. It's really a kind of a collection of all the tickets and all the solutions that they ever came up with for various problems. There's plenty of reasons why it doesn't work very well, but it's there, and it's a million times more useful, especially since they give access to me, a customer. I can go and look it up in that database just as readily as their technical support does, and often I can get it done faster because they're often overburdened nobody can ever provide the amount of resources required for something. Do your best, but you can't. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about my favorite knowledge database. It's interesting. Here at Eastern New Mexico University, we have a knowledge database, and we call it a wiki, although it has absolutely no basis in wikis. It just kind of became, why do we call popsicles? Popsicles a trademark. It just kind of dominated the market. So the name wiki. The first wiki is called WikiWeb. It was created in 1995. It's older than most of you guys. Oh my gosh. I enjoyed these things a lot. It was created by a fellow named Ward Cunningham, and it was to facilitate communication among computer programmers. But it was so good at being able to give people a really easy way just to dump all their knowledge into one place, and you could very easily edit it. It was made to be editable. In fact, here's something funny. We always get weird about who's allowed to see stuff, who's allowed to do stuff. Oh my gosh, let's set up roles. Let's get all this stuff together. Ward didn't bother with that. He just left it open. He combined it with what's called a versioning system, which meant that if you didn't like what other people put into something, you could just roll it back to a previous version and then start from there again. And it made it very powerful. If somebody wrote a whole diatribe about something that wasn't really relevant, you could just take it out. So he didn't bother with things like that. Now, newer implementations of this, you guys probably know about the most successful wiki, which is called Wikipedia, which a lot of people use as an online encyclopedia. You probably wondered why on earth they call it Wikipedia. It's because it was built on a variant of WikiWeb software. They just took the wiki and went with it. And that's why everybody calls this kind of stuff wiki. And it was named after a transit system in Hawaii that went really fast. So everybody said, wow, this is great, because the whole thing of this is supposed to be something you can use very, very quickly. This was the beginning and the end of my my secondary teaching career. Lasted a whole year. Woo-hoo! And I was teaching technology, and we were getting people ready for certification, A+ certification, the basic computer certification, to say that you knew something about computers and how they work. And one of my classes was we were just playing around with stuff, and one of the things I introduced to the kids was wiki, and I got into more trouble with that. When I was in high school, I never got sent to the office. Well, I got sent once, but I'm not going to get into that story. I got sent to the office because kids were putting up on this wiki, because it was totally open. Anybody could add anything they wanted to, but you had to keep up with the changes that were made and clean them up. And I was kind of slow about that, and other people weren't really interested in doing that. They weren't interested in that. So I got called into the office, and they said, look at all this stuff on this wiki thing. We can't have this. We can't do that. It's just not, no. Just to let you know that schools are control freaks, man. So that's why I'm not there anymore, because I'm not much of a control freak. I'm a sharing dude. I'm a maniacal sharer. Anyway, so this is my favorite knowledge database. It's the WikiWeb. You might want to check it out. You've already used it every day. Wikipedia, built up through that same concept. Several people coming together, making edits to make something better. They did a pretty good job on Wikipedia, and everybody uses it, right? So there you go. Wonderful thing. A wonderful knowledge database that you can put to work to help share information however you want to. All right. I hope you enjoyed that. Talk to you later. Bye.